Boeing has announced the creation of a $100 million fund for the families of those who died in two crashes involving its 737 MAX aircraft. The fund promises to help pay for living and education expenses, but lawyers representing the victims' families have been highly critical of the announcement. This update from the BBC's Neda Tawfiq.
Many believe Boeing's response to the crashes has been tone deaf, and so they see this as Boeing trying to repair a lot of that damage. In this statement, Boeing CEO said he hopes this money will give some comfort to the families who lost their loved ones in the crashes. The $100 million, the plan is, will be invested over a number of years. Boeing will partner with local governments and also nonprofit organizations to invest in things like economic development for communities and also to pay living expenses and educational expenses for the families.
Neda Tawfiq for us there. Let's go live to Nomaan Husain. He represents 7 families of victims who were travelling on Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302, which crashed in March, of course. Nomaan Husain, welcome. Thank you for talking to us. I know you're not representing anyone from any families from the other crash. There is some confusion about this announcement, isn't there? Boeing knows the identities of the victims. It could have approached families direct.
Yes, Mike, that's actually correct. You know, this is nothing but an ill-conceived scheme on Boeing's part to try to change the narrative. Boeing is desperate to change the narrative, which we've been saying from the very beginning is that they put profit over safety. And as each day passes since March 10, 2019, the date of the Ethiopian crash, more and more information comes to light, which supports our theory that Boeing put profit over safety. And Boeing wants to change the story. They've come out with this very vague statement. There were 149 passengers on the plane and 8 crew coming from 35 different countries. 16 countries only had 1 passenger on it. So if they want to help the families, they have the information and contact numbers for each family member on that plane. And they could contact the family member or the lawyers and say, hey, we want to help the families. Instead, they put out this very vague statement saying that over multiple years, they're going to give this money to the communities, which we really don't see happening. And we really see this as disingenuous.
I suppose Boeing would say, if it was here, that they are trying. I mean, it is unprecedented, isn't it, for a company which has not yet been held liable to create a $100 million fund for the victims.
What's unprecedented is to have a story running for almost 4 months in the news cycle, which is the Ethiopian 302 crash and the 737 MAX. This is a story that Boeing can just not make go away, and they can't throw money at it to make it go away, which they don't understand. The public, the flying public, and the family members who lost loved ones on these planes want answers from Boeing. We don't want their money. We want to know what happened, how this plane was certified, and why Boeing delivered to Ethiopian Airlines in November of 2018, a month after the Lion Air crash, a defective and dangerous plane, which they knew had a problem with the MCAS system, which they knew had a problem with the angle of attack sensors, and which they knew that pilots were not properly trained to fly should the angle of attack sensors give incorrect data to the MCAS. Boeing, after the crash, said, we'll have this plane back up in a few weeks. Well, you know what? It's been 4 months, and they still can't fix the problem, because the more they get into it and study it, the more they realize that there's more problems with the MCAS.
Nomaan Husain, very good to talk to you. Thank you very much.